Hello there, strangers and friends. I'm SG, or Sharon Gooner, or just Sharon if you prefer. I was having a conversation with a friend online this morning and was inspired to get this message on record. I'm a very proud member of the Phaetups Network Discord server, which is a place where we track news, current affairs, and conflicts. Basically anything where the journey to cut through the slop and establish the facts is always an interesting one, and we have a huge membership of like-minded people from all walks of life with the same insatiable appetite for seeking the truth. I was having an off-topic chat with a friend there who was having a panic attack at the time, and I was quite shocked that I was actually able to help him navigate through it with some of the tools I have used myself over the recent few years. Given that I can have quite debilitating brain fog and other symptoms, I was shocked that I had retained what I have learnt and was able to recall it in the moment of need. That was all the inspo I needed to make this video. On this video, I don't know anything about recording. I've just sat down in front of a window. I've got no extra sound or any sort of added qualities, so I apologise if it's not up to the standard that you're used to. I hope to get a bit better at it. I've been diagnosed with several medical conditions since 2019 when I was diagnosed with ME and POTS, and I was signed off work indefinitely. I had to leave my career as an executive assistant, which I really loved. And I've spent many years bedridden and accumulating new diagnoses. I've come to realise that regardless of what you go through or which conditions you have, the effects of stacking illnesses and life events on top of each other has the same devastating impact, and that's traumatisation and a dysregulated nervous system. I will do a longer piece on my own chapters of war at a later date once I find my feet and get used to this recording business. As you may have guessed, I have made notes which I'm trying to follow, and I hope you'll stick with me because I have a lot inside me that needs to come out, and I hope to get better at my delivery. What I wanted to do today is to share a few tools that have helped me learn to cope through the symptoms and live a better life despite some ongoing issues. I'm not cured, but I believe I'm on a path to wellness, and these simple exercises are part of the work I am constantly doing. Firstly, one of the books that helped me was The Body Keeps the Score. I mean, that title, it just says it, doesn't it? The body does keep the score. That's by Professor Bessel van der Kolk. He wrote it in 2014, which I don't think is old, but some of you probably do. It's about trauma and how it wreaks havoc on not just your central nervous system, but also your immune system, the functionality of the body's organs, and your metabolism. Let me read out loud part of the summary from his website. Drawing on more than 30 years of research, Kolk shows that the terror and isolation at the core of trauma literally shape both the body and the brain. New insights into our survival instincts explain why traumatized people experience incomprehensible anxiety and numbing and intolerable rage, and how trauma affects their capacity to concentrate, to remember, to form trusting relationships, and even to feel at home in your own body. Having lost the sense of control themselves and frustrated by failed therapies, they often fear that they are damaged beyond repair. Oh, that line. I know that feeling. It's intense and it's all-encompassing. So if you have suffered from one, some, or all of the following, you may recognise the common symptoms of a dysregulated nervous system. Anxiety, trauma, depression, physical disability, psychiatric conditions, spectrum neurodivergent conditions such as ADHD and autism, chronic illnesses, panic attacks, medication side effects or protracted withdrawal. That's something I do have experience of, and I do intend to do an in-depth video on that at a later date. Being the victim of a crime, burnout from work, people pleasing. Now that one, oh dear. It's so frustrating because most of us, I'm sure, have done it, but we wouldn't worry half as much about what other people think of us if we knew how little they do. Agoraphobia, paying too much attention to world events with no downtime. Does that sound familiar? I think we all do that, especially the people that I know on the Phaetups Discord website. Politics, family relationship issues, having little emotional control or balance, addiction, financial worries, stress and grief. I don't think I know a single person who hasn't had to navigate through at least one of these, but for some of us we are just less able to cope with the load and we break down and illness inevitably follows. We end up with a bunch of symptoms such as panic attacks, insomnia, pain, brain fog, trouble stringing a sentence together, digestive issues, We go to the GP, we have all the tests, and they find absolutely nothing wrong with us. Yet we think we're dying, but there's no physiological cause. We're not dying. Our bodies and minds are just responding with ingrained learned patterns and responses from going through repetitive cycles over again and again. We end up barely functioning because we are living in fight or flight constantly. Our cortisol spikes, adrenaline floods the body again and again, and we end up absolutely exhausted, falling eventually into a fawn or freeze state that can last hours, days, months, years. It's not a pleasant experience. The three things that help me to cope with my own symptoms and have successfully interrupted some of these unhealthy patterns my brain has learned are breath work, controlled eye movements, and returning to the present. These are simple and you can do them immediately. So number one, the breath work. Breathing in to the count of 4 and breathing out slower to the count of 8. It helps relax the nervous system and bring it back to a state of But you have to repeat it. So into the count of 4. Out to the count of 8. I find that really relaxing. The more you do it, the better it gets. Number 2, eye movements. So you keep your head still and you look as far to the right as you can. Come back to the centre and then repeat with the left and then come back to the centre. I'll take my glasses off to show you how I do that. You feel like you're physically pushing your eyeballs as far as they will go. It's fantastic. For centering and grounding, it's one of my favourites. Again, with repetition, it helps. I prefer to do that in a quiet space, but I will do that absolutely anywhere. Number 3, returning to the present. So focusing away from intrusive thoughts, unhealthy thought patterns, and that horrendously rude inner voice of your ego screaming for attention. All things I will cover another time. I focus away and I look for what I can see, what I can hear, what I can taste, if anything, what I can feel, what I can touch, and what I can smell. Listing them all, going through it, brings you into now. Nature has also been a really, really big one for me. For several years of my illness being predominantly bedbound, when I could get out, I could not hear the birds. I couldn't smell freshly cut grass. I didn't appreciate the blue sky, the heat of the sun, the crispness of autumn. Before being ill, I never really appreciated them as I was too busy living life and enjoying my career. Well, I thought I was enjoying my career. But now I fully immerse myself in it. I go in the garden, no matter how poorly I feel in the morning, and I look at the trees. I see what birds are about. I admire what flowers are in bloom. I listen to little planes going over, and I imagine the beauty of the fields and what they must look like from the pilot's view. Every time I do this, it fractures those negative pathways more and more and replaces them with new sensations, and the brain realises it and it enjoys it. It creates new healthy connections, and that's not all. It just expands and more, and your appreciation for all the little nuggets of beauty that we have at our feet just grows into an abundance of natural wonder. Well, it does for me anyway. Now, I'm in no way healed, and I've just come out of a 2-week period spent mainly in bed. But the reason I include these 3 specific exercises is because these are the ones that I did when I was totally bedridden and incapacitated. Now, don't get me wrong when I tell you it took a lot of disappointments when initially they weren't working, and revisiting it at later dates to keep trying and trying and trying hundreds of times. And I would just throw the idea away, forget about it, do it again. But your brain learns the more you do it, the more it likes it. I mean, I was convinced that they were bullshit, and I had to fight against myself to try again. I guess that's what you feel when you're staring death in the face. Surely a little bit of breathing in rhythm isn't going to kill you, so you may as well just give it a try. It works for me, and I will always incorporate this into my schedule. Having a schedule is important as well. I've picked that up from a few YouTube users. That really helps me, and I'll talk about that another time. But for today, that's all I wanted to talk about. I've never done anything like this before, and I intend to do some more, as I have a lot to share that I struggle with face to face. So this seems like a good avenue to step gently forwards into. I hope you found this useful. Be kind to yourself. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.